Hello everyone. In this video we are going to understand how to create a REST API using Django and Django REST Framework. So let's start. So this is a Medium article. I will attach the link. So we need to create a new project, and before you do anything, make sure that you have Python 3+ and PyCharm installed in your system. So for the purpose, I have already installed Python and PyCharm. So let's start. Create a new project. Let's name the nodes. So let's say we are going to create a requirement.txt file. Need to add our requirements. So there are two requirements, Django and Django REST Framework, and we need to install our requirements. There we go. And now we need to create the project. So this dot indicates we are not going to create a whole new project, rather than we are going to take this directory as a project configuration, and rest everything will be here only. So manage.py and nodes. So now we have to create an application, and that name of application would be src. So we can see there is an admin, apps, model, test and view. We won't need any one of this. So let's start to configure this application. So we need to add this application to our install app. And now we need to delete all the previous files from this one. And I need to create models. So I need to create a Python package as model, right? So here you can see it is a Python package. So it would be a folder with init file into it. So I'm going to create this views as well. And the serializer. So now I have to create a model for nodes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an API where I can store my nodes, right? So we have to create a table for storing my nodes, and this is going to be my model representing the table. So I have to create nodes.py inside models. And then we have to add this to it. Perfect. So this contain that node contain a title, link, description, tag, and there is a field created on, which will be added at the first time when this entry will be created, and at every time when the entry is updated, we will update this updated on field. So the table name is nodes. So now we have to create a node serializer. I have to add this thing. So what it says as, right, key basically it will take the nodes model. So whenever we are going to fetch any object, we will just use this node serializer. So it will take the objects from the database and will display it on our API. We don't have to write custom code for doing that. So we will see that how we will do that. So let's create so we have created nodes and node serializer both. Now we have to import them in constructor file. Perfect. Directly. So now we are going to create view. Let's go and create a view nodes. So see, we have imported nodes and node serializer both, and this have all the 4 methods: get, post, put and delete. Need to add this thing. Now I need to migrate. So migration is basically done to make sure whatever you have written for your database or your table is reflected on your database file. So I need to migrate and get the changes detected, and then I actually need to migrate. Perfect. Now the next thing is I need to add allowed host. Perfect. And finally I get to run my server. Yes, my server is running. Now we are going to test this thing. Let's go. Open this Firefox and we will link this thing. Localhost 8000 and nodes, and we get an empty object because there is no object. Let's add some object. So I have to add content type as header, and I will define my title as a link as www and description Facebook media link. Perfect. I'm going to add this, and this is added. Now if I try to get, we can see we are getting one object in the array. If you want to add another object, you can do that as well. Let's say it will be Google link. Right, and if I add it and then I do get, I'm getting 2 objects. If I want to modify, do put, I have to add ID, whichever ID I want to modify. So let's say the first link I want to modify, I will just keep whatever I want to modify. Let's say I want to modify these 2 things only, and I will add updated over here, and here I will have this thing. Perfect. Let's put, and it is done. Now if I get and see my object, so we can see my object is updated. So I'm getting only the single object. If I want to get all objects, it's working. I can also delete an object. Just put this thing and put a delete request, and the object is gone. So now you see all objects. You can only see the second object.